Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Juice Podcast on the Betting Pros Network. I'm your host, Sean Stacking the Money Green. Give me a follow on Twitter at Sean T. Green. As always, Juice being brought to you by BetMGM. Use that promo code JUICE. $10 bet turns into $200 in free bets if either team scores a touchdown. Good for college and pro. Restrictions apply. May not want to use that on the Army-Navy game. We got some picks for that game. Not a big scoring game. Total all the way down to 34. We'll be getting on that. I got two. Well, yeah, they're both in the Army-Navy game. Two plays. And then I got two college basketball games. Obviously, we got a big Sunday slate coming up. And hey, what else is going on? Happy holidays. Holiday season. Getting a little chilly. Yeah, just getting, it's good football weather, good hitting weather out there. It is, I don't know, outdoor football is so great. All right, what do we got here? 2-1 on the slate. I'll take it. 2-1, especially. All right, well, yeah, Raptors, that was pretty much cooked. I'm kicking myself because the Hawks plus 7.5 was the other pick I was going to play. Is going back and forth. Hawks, Raptors, Raptors. They seem to really be owning the Magic. Magic won outright 113-109, so hats off to the Magic. Yeah, nice win for them. Sixers -3, never in doubt. Just kidding. There was a ton of doubt. They were up 10 points in the fourth quarter. Doc Rivers doing his Josh McDaniels impression, trying to blow a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. He blew it. They got to the overtime. Luckily, Sixers dominated in overtime, 133-122. So covered the three by a nice chunk there. But man, I love Joel Embiid, but still, this Sixers team, I don't know. I don't know. Doc Rivers, man, I don't know. The thing is, like with Ben Simmons there, and especially when Simmons was there, but overall, like Joel Embiid, like they need like a Popovich. They need a hard ass. And the players coach thing in the NBA, I don't understand it because it's like, especially with Embiid, man, dude's got to get that fire in his belly. Love him, and he's a funny dude, but yeah, come on, Doc, step it up. Although, hey, you won in cover, so I can't be complaining that much. College basketball. We lost the game, Washington Huskies, and I say we, but we covered plus 17.5. Oh man, unfortunately, I feel like if you tailed late, I think there were some 16.5s out there. That was just brutal. Just know that the gambling gods owe you one free bet. I don't know when it will come, but if you keep on gambling, eventually you will win a bet by a hook that you probably didn't deserve. Huskies were just kind of hanging around. They had a little early lead. They lost the first half by 10. They lost the second half by 7. For some reason, they were fouling down 15. So maybe maybe there are a couple of kids on the take there who had Gonzaga laying the 17.5 or 16.5. So hopefully you got that 17.5 if you rode along there. All right. Hey, Stefon Diggs, he's got a jersey. It's autographed. You can get it for free. YouTube.com/bettingpros. Comment on the video. Hit subscribe. Automatically entered to win the autographed Stefon Diggs jersey. And hey, I did a little poking around the Discord, bettingpros.com/chat. If you haven't hopped in the Discord, kind of threw it out there like, hey, what do you guys want from me? What do you want us to be getting into in the Discord? And, we've had some fun with these DGen only bets. And I think it's time we give away a hat to the best NFL DGen only bet. And basically the biggest DGen only bet that hits. Maybe it's only a plus 300. Maybe it's a plus 500. You don't even have to bet it. You could just put it out there. It's the ultimate free roll. If it hits, you get a hat. And there's some game theory here because it's a lot like The Price is Right. Do you give out to a 10-1? Obviously, if it hits, you got pretty good chances. Or do you give out something a little like plus 250? And then, someone could beat you. So give me your best NFL, something, a little bit of a long shot. Nothing wrong with the long shot. Put that in the bettingpros.com/chat Discord. Biggest winner will get the hat. And if there are no winners, If everyone whiffs on their DGen only bet, the person who's brave enough to give out the biggest long shot will win the hat. So there's a ton of game theory. And again, it's EV play because the hat is free. The contest is free. Bettingpros.com/chat. All right, let's get to it. Navy versus Army. I'm surprised to see this move up to 3. And a lot of places have it at 2.5, but I found a 3 over on Caesars. Give me Army +3. I mean, 3 points in this game is a miracle. I mean, that is huge. Everyone knows these Army Navy games are super low scoring. Navy won last year as a dog. I think they might have been a 7-point dog. They're a pretty big dog. They beat Army outright, 17-13. Of course, the under comes in as it does every year, but if you go back and look at these scores, 3 points can go a long way in this rivalry game. Army has had the better offense overall, but Navy can actually throw the ball a little bit, which is rare for this rivalry. But I would say your ability to throw the ball might hurt you in this game because this game just always becomes a drag out, kind of like knock dead, back and forth, just two teams running the triple option into each other. So I think attempting some passes could be their downfall. And Army's motivated. Like a lot of times the team that wins this Army-Navy is the team more motivated. A lot of times it's the worst team coming in here. I love a dog in Army-Navy, so give me Army +3. You got to take the under. It's just contractually obligated. It's like when we get to college basketball and I play first half unders in those first 2 games, my partner and I on the Sports Gambling Podcast, we were the first to ever break that out on a podcast. And we play it every year, right? So historically, it's been very good. Some years it's up, some years it's down. But you got to play because it's a system play. It's the model play. But Army-Navy under, again, also just an auto play. Service Academy unders, and I think I've played a couple this year for you guys, but shame on me if we didn't auto play all these. They're 43, 9, and 5. I'm sure you've seen that stat. Everyone's going to be on the under. And you can say like, oh, maybe this, but hey, if it's hit 16 years in a row, maybe this is the year it doesn't hit, but you got to be along for the ride. Keep riding this under until they hang a 29.5. One day, maybe your grandchildren will see a day when the Navy Army hits the over. Who knows? It could be this game, right? It's football. Anything can happen, but they both run very similar offenses. They both know how to play each other. And it just ends up being an ugly, grinded out game. They're very physical teams. Although I do recall, this is a couple of years ago, I think it was like one of the first games out of the pandemic, and I was handicapping, I go, oh, Navy, you got to love Navy here. They're disciplined. If anyone knows how to prepare for a pandemic, I think it's Navy. And then like right before kickoff, they go, and Navy was not allowed to practice tackling due to government restrictions. I'm like, oh my God. Immediately, no, your bet is cooked, and they got destroyed. And usually it's rare for a Service Academy to get embarrassed. They have a lot of pride, and that's, defense. It's all about pride. Under 34 is DK has a 34 right now. So get that highest under there. Switching up to college basketball, Penn State catching 10.5 at Illinois. I like taking Penn State. I went to Penn State for a couple years. Notice I didn't say graduate. That's for another podcast. But handicapping college sports for me, I love situation spots, right? Fading teams coming off big wins. And riding teams that came off tough losses where you think they can bounce back. And this game fits both those criteria. Penn State coming off a tough loss against Michigan State. And I bet Penn State, I don't think I gave it out on the show, but that was a loser. Michigan State playing really, I don't know. Michigan State's been interesting. We'll see more. We'll learn more about Michigan, I think, later on this season. But Penn State, I still think, is a pretty good team. They play clean ball, 9th in turnover percentage offensively, 22nd in the nation in three-point percentage, and they're really good at the free throw line, 38th in the country. So I love fade in Illinois. Obviously, it didn't work out for us when we had Texas. I also messed up that game. Had forgot that it was being played at the Garden instead of Texas. So error on me there. But I like fade in Illinois, and a lot of times it's because they're really big favorites and they struggle from the free throw line. Also, everyone saw them have that nice win against Texas. I think the line is going to be a little inflated. 10.5. for two good teams in conference play, I think is a little bit crazy. And, talking about the free throw disparity, Illinois shoots 66% for the line, Penn State 76. So you're giving Penn State 10 points, 10.5 points on FanDuel right now, and they shoot 10 points better from the free throw line. That's a good formula for me. Georgetown at Syracuse. I'm taking Cuse. Cuse again. I don't really have an official college team, but for college basketball, it's probably Syracuse, and I do really like Michigan State just because those two teams have just made me so much money over the years. My dog's name is Buddy. I considered briefly renaming him Buddy Boeheim because that's how much money, when they went on that little bit of run, I just kept pounding Syracuse money line. They had no business going on that run. Oh man, just those three balls are so sweet. So I am a little partial to Syracuse, but I like Syracuse here, -8.5 at Bet Rivers. They're at home. Neither team is playing like great right now, and Syracuse is a team that will maybe find some form late in the year. Conference tournament, the tournament itself. This is just a massive, insane coaching disparity. Patrick Ewing, I think, one of the worst head coaches in college basketball right now. And then you got Boeheim on the other side. And to be able to beat Syracuse, to be able to beat the zone, you have to be well coached and you have to be able to hit mid-range and even the three ball, whatever it is to like space out the zone. You got to be able to hit those shots. Georgetown is neither. They're 173rd in the nation in effective field goal percentage, and they're coached by Patrick Ewing. As good as Patrick Ewing was as a player, he's that bad as a coach. He just, I don't know, whatever it is, they have talent, they have a big name, and they just can't figure it out. You got to go Cuse here, -8.5. So Syracuse -8.5, Penn State +10.5, Navy Army under 34, Army +3, 1 units on all those guys. You know what? Actually, I'm going to knock up Army 2 units. Aim high. Let's go. Or is that Air Force? Don't really know. What matters is Army's getting 3, and that's way too much for that game. 2 units on Army. And, hey, like I said, put your biggest dog, bettingpros.com/chat, biggest dog in the Discord chat. And whichever one, the biggest dog that hits, Daily Juice hat coming your way. Of course, betmgm.com, promo code JUICE. Follow us on TikTok at Betting Pros. Follow me on Twitter at Sean T. Green. Check out my other show, the Sports Gambling Podcast. And you know what to do. Subscribe, rate, and review. And as always, don't forget to let it ride.